Let's talk about transfer now. I want to start with my club, Manchester City. I mean, your recently report saying that is it effectively done yet, Elliot Anderson to Man City, and is the plan still to formalize the transfer after the World Cup? What is the latest status, Ben?
Yeah, I'll give you an exclusive that only reached me about 10 minutes ago. So yesterday, as you rightly say, I said that it was close between Enzo Maresca and Manchester City. Now I can tell you that it is done. And obviously, from Maresca's point of view, he'd already agreed a 3-year contract and been part of the summer planning. So to all intents and purposes, Enzo Maresca had started at Manchester City, but formally he couldn't begin and sign the contract, and you couldn't have the club announcement until the component with Chelsea was resolved. And the parties have been in conversations to try and avoid legal action and try and avoid this being agreed in terms of a compensation number outside of a room between, in the end, Manchester City, Maresca and Chelsea. And finally, they have settled upon a number that I am told is significantly above £10 million. And okay, Chelsea sources and Manchester City sources can't necessarily comment on that many specifics due to the sensitivities and legalities. But that number, according to my information, could be above even £15 million. So this is a huge settlement reflective of the fact that when Enzo Maresca resigned as the Chelsea manager, in accepting that resignation, Chelsea were always going to be entitled to a figure. And as long as Enzo Maresca had taken the Manchester City job, he kind of had two options. The first was to resolve it with Chelsea and effectively have Man City pay him back, because the onus was on Maresca to finalise the settlement with Chelsea. And if Enzo Maresca had felt in resigning that he wasn't eligible to pay the money to Chelsea, then in theory, he could have bypassed Manchester City and taken Chelsea to some form of tribunal or mediation and maybe waived any right to compensation. The second option is the one that was actually proceeded with, which was an acknowledgement from Maresca that he did owe Chelsea compensation, despite the fact that all parties agreed to his resignation early in the year, and then involve Manchester City in essentially, like a traditional club would do when they want a manager who is in work, determining a number. And that means Maresca doesn't have to pay out of pocket. Manchester City acknowledge in getting their manager that they do have to pay, and Chelsea get their money, and it avoids any acrimony or need for the parties to get lawyers and courts involved. And that's the route that's been taken. So Man City have got